Hi, everybody. This is Ryan Moran, and I'm coming at you from the coffee shop as usual. And on the phone with me today is a new friend of mine, Kate Buck, who has a product called Let's Get Social. But we'll talk about that later. What I really want to do, Kate, first of all, thanks for hanging out with us. I kind of want to get her story because it's a really interesting story about how she got into this and a little bit about how she made her full-time income online. So, Kate, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and hang out.
Cool. We're excited to have you. Why don't you tell a little bit about your story, how you got into this, and I know it made a huge change in your life. So why don't you just give us a little rundown on your story?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I about 3 years ago. Wow, I'm coming up on my actual anniversary here very shortly. But
Cool.
I had a full-time corporate job, and I found out that I was getting laid off, and I was kind of freaked out about that. Actually, I really didn't know what I was going to do, but I had heard a lot of people talking about Twitter, and I was pretty active on MySpace and Facebook at the time.
You were on MySpace. Loser.
I was very active on MySpace. Yeah, I was updating my status like every 5 minutes, and but I didn't get Twitter. I tried it, and I didn't really get it. You know what I'm saying? But one day it seemed like, kind of, when you're forced to do something, and then all of a sudden it makes sense or whatever.
Yeah,
That's kind of what happened. It was like everybody kept saying you got to be networking on Twitter. So I got on Twitter, and I was just looking for anybody that would please help me find a job. Anybody who owned a business or had a job. So pretty much everybody was fair game. And really long story short, through that networking on Twitter, I was able to actually get freelance side work, client work, and I literally from 5 days from the day that my job ended, 5 days later, I started working part-time with a part-time income. Part-time hours with a full-time income with my very first client. So
with one client.
One client, and it was all through the power of networking and the power of Twitter, and it literally happened in a very short period of time. So
what were you doing for that part-time work but full-time income?
I was being a social media manager. So one of the things I noticed, because I'm really good at listening, which is one of the key things that you'll learn about social media, is I noticed a trend. I saw people that were tweeting about how social media was becoming overwhelming for them, how they didn't have time to get to every single message, how their private inboxes were full of spam, and they needed a way to cut through all of that clutter. And I thought, I can help people do that. I can be basically their personal assistant for social media. And I saw one particular person who some of you may know. It's a guy named Ryan Deiss. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but I didn't know who he was at the time. I saw him tweeting about that, and I reached out. Now, as funny as the story goes, he didn't actually hire me, but he's the one that referred me to my first client. So, so that's how it happened.
So, what exactly were you doing for this first client? You're managing their social media. What does that mean? What work is actually involved in that process?
Well, it's so funny that you ask, because I really had no idea. It's kind of one of those things where I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that, and I had no clue what that was. And really the client had no idea what that was either. But I told them that I would deal with their social media so that they didn't have to. So basically those tasks consisted every day of, especially back at that time, just deleting their inbox spam, making sure that they were able to get to any urgent messages or any important messages, those money-making ones, that those were the ones that they saw, and all the rest of the crap was eliminated. I made sure that they had tweets going out at scheduled times throughout the day so that as they were busy working, they didn't miss the opportunity of promoting a product or having people help, reminding people to register for a webinar, or those types of things that as we get busy throughout the day, we don't have time necessarily to tend to social media. So I was scheduling updates. I helped them understand, I'm the person who was keeping up with all the changes. Social media is changing a lot now. It was changing a lot then. And Joe, I'll say Joe, the coffee shop expert, although he wasn't my first client. My clients they're experts in what they're an expert in. They don't have time to be an expert in social media too. So they depend on me to keep up with those changes and basically interpret them for them. So as something changes, I'm able to go in and fix stuff or move stuff or let them know what's happening so that we can be really effective in whatever it is that they're doing. So I really kind of made that up along the way, but the idea is that I'm the person who's there for you when you can't be in social media.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like this is something you could basically do from your cell phone wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I just got home from 2 weeks on the road, and I do so much of my job from my phone. I can update status for clients. I can pre-schedule stuff for them. I can respond to inquiries. I can email with those clients. I can get on a call if they need me to. I mean, I can literally do my job from my phone, and I can do it from anywhere I can get connected to the internet. I mean, people always ask me, how did I get, what kind of money did I need to get started? I didn't need anything. I could have gone to the public library and used the computers there and started my business.
Awesome.
You just really needed, a way to connect, a device and an internet connection. So really you can get started in this business with almost nothing.
That's great.
The only essentials are those two things.
That's great. And I know you've been interviewed on news stations and local reporting channels and stuff like that. And so obviously people have begun to find out that this is a really booming trend. But there's still people who might look at you and say, you got lucky, or I can't do that, or it sounds too good to be true. But I know you've taught thousands of people this. Could you tell us maybe a couple of people who have contacted you said that they've been seeing similar success, or some sort of success story that you can share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I have I have a lot of success stories from my students. I get stuff all the time, and it's so funny when you say that, because when you say, there's something special about what happened with me, I actually think of myself as, when you say that, I can hear myself as being the person saying that. You know what I mean? I don't consider myself to know anything any more than anybody else. I wasn't a social media expert at the time. I think it's all about the hustle. So I'll just say that. But I have a lot of students that have a lot of success. As a matter of fact, I have some students I'm a little bit jealous of. Two of my students, Karen and Paula Batchelor of Color Me Social, were actually featured in CNN's Money magazine, talking about them reinventing their life and reinventing their business after taking Let's Get Social and transitioning from, I think one was an attorney before and the other was like a graphic designer, and they're sisters, and they went in business together and started a social media management business. Now they do mobile marketing, they do all kinds of stuff, but they both basically retired and became social media managers, and CNN covered them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, come on. So those are my favorite. I love those guys. That's one of my favorite success stories.
I've had students be more successful than me too, and I'm really proud of them, and also a little embarrassed that the student becomes the teacher. But it lets you know that you're doing a really good job.
That's what happens, and we have a very connected community of my Let's Get Social students. We're all very connected, and we love social media, so we stay in communication regularly. And I'm now finding that I'm following these guys to stay up on some of the stuff, because they are really on the cutting edge of what's going on, and so I find myself learning from them, and I'm just kind of like,
great.
Should I be crawling under my desk at this point? But I have some really successful clients that have niched themselves in a particular industry, so they're speaking at their particular industry events about social media, from anywhere from alternative health, people who specialize in social media for like chiropractors, massage therapists, that kind of stuff, to one of my students, Mandy White, was already a horse enthusiast and ran a horse magazine, an online magazine, but wasn't really using social media at the time to promote it, and is now speaking at horse enthusiast, horse industry type events and is kind of a well-known person in that niche. So I love those types of stories too, where people take what I'm teaching and go actually use it for something that they love, that they're passionate about.
That's great. Well, congratulations on your success, on your student success. We've been talking about Let's Get Social, and I want to give you maybe a minute or so. Just tell us a little bit about what's inside, what people can expect once they get the program, and maybe the first thing that they should do once they get inside. And I know you have a little bonus for us as well, which I appreciate. So why don't you just take a minute and tell us all about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Let's Get Social in and of itself is near and dear to my heart. I basically created this course to walk you through, a day in the life of, a week in the life of, a month in the life of, etc. So everything that I'm teaching, I'm literally just doing, it sounds funny to say, but I'm just doing a huge brain dump for you, a very organized brain dump, but a brain dump nonetheless of everything I know, literally everything I know. I thought after I finish this, I'll never be able to do another product again because I know nothing else than what's in here. But anyways, I'm walking you through, what it takes to get started. So if you already don't know how to build a brand and like what you want to call your business and what you want your branding to look like and feel like and sound like, and what value you're going to be offering your clients, we actually start there, and I help you create that for yourself, and then throughout all your social media profiles, so it's consistent. And I teach you how to do that so that you're able to help clients do that when they're ready. So Let's Get Social is full of demo videos and handouts, and all the resources that I use I included. And I actually keep it updated as I create new resources, or as I figure something out, or as something major changes in social media. Then obviously my strategies and stuff change, so then Let's Get Social changes as well. The next thing that we walk through after setting up your business and branding is we walk through your service offerings. So how do you package your services? What do you charge for them? What features are included? What isn't included? How do you do custom packages? All of that kind of stuff, so that you're actually ready to go out and get business right away. After that is when we finally get to doing the work, because for me, that's where that goes, right? You've got to go get business first before it matters if you're doing the work or not. So I take you through, again, step by step, all of the service offerings that you're going to be doing, what you should be doing, how to do it. Again, there's demo videos, so you're literally watching my screen while I'm showing you what I do. And then lastly, we wrap it up with all the nuts and bolts. So all that nitpicky stuff, invoicing, contracts, metrics reporting, all of those little nuts and bolts that you need to kind of tie up the loose ends and make sure that you get paid, right, for the work that you're doing. So we really start with setting up your business, deciding what you're going to sell and how much you're going to charge for it, learning how to actually do that stuff, and then everything that you need to know on the back end of, managing your clients and getting paid for being a social media manager.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's the Let's Get Social package in and of itself. That's the core training right there.
Okay. Well, great. It sounds like something anybody can do. It sounds like you cover all the bases. I know you have a little bonus for us as well. Could you give us a little sneak peek into that for people who are listening to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So as a bonus, just for you guys that are listening to this, just for Ryan's people, I'm going to include a little video for you guys about my seven quick tips. I'm going to try to do 7 tips in 7 minutes. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to include that for you guys to show you the 7 quick things that you can do to get started quickly, like to get a client overnight, or to convert a fan or a follower into a customer on each of the different platforms. So I'm going to walk you through 7 different platforms, and I'm going to show you one trick that you can do to have an instantaneous result on each of those 7 platforms. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys.
We'll call it the 7 and 7 bonus. How about that?
The 7 and 7 bonus. I love it.
All right. So the 7 and 7 bonus is going to help you grab that first client, make your first $1,000. It's going to help you get started. So as soon as you get in, you can digest the 7 and 7 bonus and be off and running, so that you know with confidence that you're going to be able to make this work for you, and you probably can start seeing results as soon as you implement those tips from the bonus. So, Kate, I know you're busy. I know you got some tweeting to do, so I'm not going to keep you for too long. I just wanted to say thanks for sharing a little bit insight into your story and stuff. And of course, you know, Let's Get Social gets my full recommendation. Kate's a personal friend. I can't help but see her around because she's friends with all of my friends because she's so well networked. So you know, I got to say nice things about her, or else I'll see her in public and she'll punch me or something. So, Kate, thanks for hanging out with us. I won't keep you for any longer. So thanks.